Why was the big Black Sabbath bash so American? Let's address this. So let's go through it. First of all, it was shockingly American. I mean, it was absolutely almost 100% American. Let's go through it quickly here, and just to prove the point that we're doing this big Black Sabbath show. We're in Birmingham. Can't get more English than that. Obviously, it's the hometown of Black Sabbath. But yeah, so what we have here for a lineup. Mastodon played American, Rival Sons, California, Anthrax, New York, very American, Hailstorm, Lamb of God, again, American, Maryland, I guess, right? We go into the supergroups, in terms of British folks as part of this thing. I mean, correct me if I'm wrong, but we've got Adam Wakeman from the UK, 2 from Sleep Token, Youngblood. Okay, Youngblood was actually a marquee performer who actually was British. Young person did an amazing job of changes there. And we've got Ron Wood as part of the Steven Tyler thing. That was pretty cool. But other than that, even the supergroup stuff, picking players here and there, all Americans, right? We've got Alice in Chains, big grunge group. We got Gojira, not American or British. And, the drum off, we got Travis Barker, Chad Smith, Danny Carey. Yeah, Nuno's in there from Boston, of course. KK Downing is another supergroup person who was British and is British in here. But yeah, going through all the supergroup stuff. The supergroup B, this is where we get KK and Ron Wood. Then we get Pantera, Tool, Slayer, Guns N' Roses, Metallica. It's pretty cool. You got Guns N' Roses and Metallica in there together, reprising the whole infamous tour that they did, right? Where James got burnt and there was that big riot. But yeah, totally American there. And then the Ozzy Osbourne set and the Black Sabbath set. So, why was it this way? I think there's a number of reasons. Number one, Sharon and Ozzy basically built their lives in California. So you see a heavy California bent from this as well. You've also got the connection of Sharon with all these different bands from a business standpoint as well. Some from a management point of view. You got Billy Corgan in there, of course. That's an important Sharon connection there. Whitfield Crane, we know that whole story with him singing, helping on vocals here and there over the years. We've got, and I think the biggest business arrangement here is that this just feels like a big, almost like another Ozfest, right? So you've got all of these bands who dealt with Sharon on a business basis because of Ozfest. And another thing, another point to make here is, these are the bands. There's not a lot of British metal. I'm probably gonna do a separate show on the whole British question here. But the cool thing about this entire thing is that you really do graphically see Sabbath's awesome influence, the biggest influence of all, obviously, of all the heavy metal bands on subsequent heavy metal, right? Black Sabbath is the number one band. They're the band that invented it and then made a whole pile of it and was successful all through the 70s and quite a bit, here and there through the 80s and later with reunions and stuff. Huge band, of course. But you do see their influence on all this stuff. I mean, Mastodon is a nice sort of a hybrid situation of progressiveness and heaviness and doomness. Rival Sons with their retro sound, but a big one here is thrash, right? I've often said that, when you listen to a lot of thrash, people kind of focus on the speed of thrash as being a big deal, double bass drums, palm muted, very fast riffing and stuff. But when you think of the chord sequences and just the structure of those songs, thrash is basically Black Sabbath sped up. Sabbath is known to be a slow, sluggish, big doom band. They do have some fast songs, but that's not the point. It's the Diablos in Musica tritone devil's note feel that you get all through thrash as well. So think of thrash songs totally slowed down, and you basically get Black Sabbath. So that's, we've got, like I say, Mastodon on here. We've got Anthrax, makes perfect sense. Neo thrash, newer thrash bands like Lamb of God and Pantera make perfect sense here as well. You've also got the grunge end of things, right? So Sabbath is a very big influence with their doomy, sluggish sort of feel on a band like Alice in Chains. So it makes perfect sense seeing Alice in Chains in here. Gojira makes sense. Tool makes sense. Tool is almost like a Mastodon, where you've got a very doomy quality to this whole thing, along with the progressiveness, a different kind of progressiveness for Mastodon. Slayer again makes perfect sense. Themes again, the perfect band to say, this is essentially Black Sabbath sped up. Guns N' Roses doesn't make particular sense and doesn't even really have the big business ties with Sharon, but it's really cool to see them there. But again, big American band, and a band from LA, like I say, where Sharon and Ozzy made their home for so many years. And then Metallica, great in here as well. California band, although it's San Francisco, but again, a band hugely influenced by Sabbath. They love their Sabbath. They killed it. I think they did the best job here with their covers. Johnny Blade, I just love that version that they did. I think that's my favorite out of all these, and they did Hole in the Sky as well. So yeah, there you go. And just quickly looking at some of these other people, Tom Morello. Again, he's the musical director. He is the another LA person here. We've got Rudy Sarzo, feels very much like the LA situation, right? Who else? Yeah, Chad Smith. I mean, you get the point. But also, another thing I wanted to say here is that it's important to make this a success. So bringing all these massive U.S. acts into the U.K., which is a very big country population wise, right? That makes the show super, super successful. Not like it wouldn't have been anyways with a British situation, or more British people. I'm gonna talk about that in a bit, but yeah. So you make it a success. You make it a pay-per-view success. I mean, this raised 190 million US, or 140 million pounds for charity. Cure Parkinson's, Birmingham's Children's Hospital, and Acorns Children's Hospice. So that's amazing as well. And again, part of that success is it is a big pay-per-view. A whole lot of Americans are the biggest market. They are proud to see all their bands on there. Like I say, this thing's completely American. So that makes that end of it a success, and it makes the concert sitting there, physically in Birmingham, a massive success as well, with all these bands coming there. So there you go. There's your reasons this thing was American. It was shockingly American, but I really feel like the telling of the heavy metal story of Black Sabbath's influence is very much best told through these American bands. So there you go. This has been Martin Popoff for the Contrarians. You can check out my audio podcast as well, History in 5 Songs with Martin Popoff. I wrote all these books behind me here. I got 130 books or so. About 100 are in print. The latest is a Guns N' Roses. Who have I written haven't written books on many of these bands here. I've got my old Metallica book as well. I may be able to the original hardcover, softcover, but I have my very latest book is Guns N' Roses at 40. That just came out. Very nice coffee table books. You can go to martinpopoff.com for that. Check out also as well from our channel here, Grant has a channel called Grant's Rock Warehouse. Check that out as well. You can like and subscribe and all that good stuff. We've got a Ko-Fi, we've got merch and all that. But there you go. Go listen to some Black Sabbath.